like Hagar's child was crying. What kind of children? You have to take note what we want to do. The children that are crying through the night, something is disturbing them. Maybe spirits disturbing them. Maybe they are possessed from mother's womb. And then they are crying and crying and crying. Those children that are just tormented, children are tormented. And they are not responsible for what is happening to them. You cannot say it is your sin because they know no sin. Listen to me. As I get to that place, I will show you something, but let me brief you. When Hagar dumped the child, Ishmael, and then the water, Abraham gave only a bottle of water. I don't know whether that was a piece of bread. I don't remember now. And then the water was spent, and she was empty-handed in the wilderness. No hope. The child must die. If you fast and test, and there is nothing happening in you, nothing to replenish it, no water, no food, the sure thing that will happen is that you must die. At a point in time, you must die. Even right now, you fast and fast and no drink water, fast and fast and fast and fast and fast 40 days, fast 70 days, and on. The short thing that will happen is that you must die. You become so weak at a point in time, and your organs will fail. That is an instruction to those who stretch fasting, and then they say, they boast about it. I fast 70 days. I fast like Jesus 40 days. I dry fast. I take it. It's my food. Listen to me. You are dilapidating your body. You are dilapidating your body and your organs. And maybe as a result of the fasting, now you have some prowess. It is usual, and you develop some prowess, and then you see that you lay hands upon people and they are readily healed. Let me tell you the story of a doctor. It was the doctor that we employed here that told me about the doctor, and he knew him practically. He said he was a Christian and died. What killed him? He practiced his medicine, and then was also a spiritual man and was fasting extensively. Until the thing affected, I think he said his kidney or liver or whatever. One of the organs fell. And then all the doctors rallied around and began to treat him, and he was warned that this thing can kill you. But the joy of ministering to people, fasting all the time, and praying, and they being healed, and using medical knowledge and using the spiritual knowledge, even was so tickling to him. And when he became healed, he returned, and then the thing struck again, and he died. It was the demon that told me the person, and he knows the person, and he was a Christian. So that is side talk that is important. Are you hearing me? Yes. If you fast and fast and fast, you don't have nourishment in your body. No nutrients are in your body. Your body will be as strong as stick. Now, then, I'm talking about the children. Now, this child was crying. What I wanted to tell you that brought me to that story is that it was not Hagar's voice that God heard. When God responded, when the angel responded, he said, I have heard the cry of the lad. I have heard the cry of the lad. It's not the cry of Hagar. The cry of the lad. And now I'm seeing that all those people that have lads that are crying, that you know of, may be the son or the child of a neighbor. And this person, this little one, is famished. and is wanting to give up, and you know about it. These are the people that I'm going to give divine water. It is not a practice that you go and do. I am led to do it. When I bless the water, it becomes divine, and they get them healed. And as they sip the water, the devils leave them. Now, I'm coming to that. Meanwhile, where I am going is that sun must stand still at Ireland and moon. We are reading from Joshua chapter 10. That exhortation is not going to be too long, but it's very explosive. Joshua chapter 10. And the exhortation is for those that have bought this vision and they are in love with it. Praise the Lord. Did you hear what I said? The people that are in love with the vision, not people that the vision does not mean anything to them. They are pursuing their earthly careers and even though they hold offices, but the things that we are doing, the things they are doing don't just mean much. Such people, for them to benefit, they got to repent and turn their minds and hold to the vision, to the project that God has given. In Joshua chapter 10, we're reading verse 1 downwards. Now it came to pass, when Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, had heard how Joshua had taken Ai and had utterly destroyed it, as he had done to Jericho and her king, so he had done to Ai and her king, and how the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel and were among them, that they feared greatly, because Gibeon was a great city, as one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Ai, and all the men thereof were mighty. Wherefore Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, sent unto Hoham, king of Hebron. Hoham is another Adonai. And unto Piram, king of Jarmuth. Piram is another Adonai. And unto Japhia, king of Lachish. Japhia is another Adonai. And unto Debar, king of Eglon. Debar is another Adonai. And said, Come up unto me and help me, that we may smite Gibeon, who made this a league with Israel. For it hath made peace with Joshua and with the children of Israel. Therefore the 5 kings of the Amorites, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, the king of Eglon, gathered themselves together and went up, they and all their hosts, and encamped before Gibeon and made war against it. And the men of Gibeon sent unto Joshua to the camp of Gilgal, saying, Slack not thy hand from thy servants, come up to us quickly, and save us and help us. For all the kings of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us. So Joshua ascended from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the mighty men of valor. And the Lord said unto Joshua, Fear them not, for I have delivered them into thine hand. There shall not a man of them stand before thee. Joshua therefore came unto them suddenly, and went up from Gilgal all night. And the Lord discomfited them before Israel, and slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and chased them along the way that goeth up to Beth-horon, and smote them to Azekah and unto Makkedah. And it came to pass, as they fled from before Israel, and were in the going down of Beth-horon, But the Lord cast down great stones from heaven upon them unto Azekah, and they died. There were more which died with hailstones than they whom the children of Israel slew with the sword. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in that day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel, and he said in the sight of Israel, Son, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ayalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. And there was no day like that before it or after it, that the Lord hearkened unto the voice of a man. For the Lord fought for Israel. And Joshua returned, and all Israel with him, unto the camp to Gilgal. But these 5 kings fled and hid themselves in a cave at Makeba. And let's stop there. Praise God. Story is very clear. Very clear story. In their military campaign to dwell in the land that was appointed them. Now, these Adonai Zedek, king of Jerusalem, that is a people that owned Jerusalem before. Indigenous people that were there. Now, arouse us some other 4 kings and their armies, because Gibeon had made a league with Israel, and Gibeon was a strong kingdom with mighty men, and they feared that if we don't fight, these people will come and swallow us up. Now these people sent unto Joshua and said, the die is cast. Run, come and help us. And Joshua came down, and the fight began. Mobilize all the mighty men of Israel. And on and on and on and on and on and on, and the war was raging. The war was raging. And then a time came in the process, and night was falling, and darkness was coming. And Joshua saw that if the night and darkness set in, they are going to escape. People are going to escape. We wouldn't have been able to accomplish the task. They wouldn't have been defeated. The project would have been half executed or partly executed. And then he cried. And then he issued an instruction. And then he issued a decree with the bitterness of heart. Listen to me. With eyes of understanding enlightened, this man issued an instruction and said, sun, stand still, so that the light can remain for me to accomplish the task 100%. It's not been accomplished. If the sun continues in his understanding and then goes down, now darkness will come, and some of these people will escape, and we wouldn't have gotten 100% victory. He saw 100% victory as a necessity. He had a necessity. He saw it that way, and then issued that instruction, and God hearkened unto him. And when I was demonstrating it before, I told you that even those people that didn't go to school, that know not anything about science, they think that sun is moving from down there and going this way. But what is happening is that the sun is in his place, and then the earth is revolving in front of it, and then the side of the earth that is facing it, they get light. The other side is in darkness. That is the reason if you go to Malaysia now, who are far in the east, if you go to Malaysia now, to Kuala Lumpur, the time now here is after 11, but the time now there is after 7 p.m. Now, if you go to the U.S., who are far this way, the thing is rolling this way. Now, it is becoming morning. Morning maybe 6 a.m., maybe 5 a.m. And so, now this man issued this instruction and said, let that thing that God arranged by his power originally that has never failed, let it hold on. Let it stop. God is the person that put the thing, that arranged the science. But because of a necessity, he now said, the darkness is not needed yet. And let that thing that we bring, that arrangement, that process, that scientific process that God put originally, that will now continue. If it continues, if I allow it to continue, it will soon bring darkness, but I have not completed. There is a necessity. He issued the command, and God agreed with him. What is the inference? What is the inference? Jesus knew that himself. Before I come to the inference, did you realize that Jesus said, I walk the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can walk. Physically speaking, do they walk in the night? If they walk in the night, they are on shift, and they must have rested in the day. And they will put light to do that work. But right now, if you are doing carpentry work or any work in this place now, do you need light? Now, Jesus was saying, the night of death is coming. Death is night. Listen. Sickness is night. It's darkness. If sickness has ravaged you, can you do anything? Can you even attend to your family? Listen to me. When my children were much younger, my late mommy was there. I was incapacitated badly. I was incapacitated badly by hypertension. So I managed to do all the things that you saw me do. I managed to do them. Some mornings, I will not be able to wake up. And she will come, wake me up, but I was not able to wake up. It incapacitated me. I will not be able to call the children for morning devotion. And she would do that herself alone. That was a kind of night. And it is this thing that I know that made that thing that usually kills people not to kill me. I kept saying to the Lord, there is a necessity. There is a business. It has not been accomplished. And this thing, this darkness must stop. The incapacitation of this thing must stop. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Joshua had a necessity to accomplish. There is a project. That's why I said, men and brethren, that the people that will benefit from this are people who are watchmen, who are in love with the ministry, the work they are doing. They know that it is a necessity. May I ask you, preparing the church for the rapture and presenting the church, is it a necessity? Is it, let me ask you, is it optional? Is it what God can do without? You are not answering well. It's maybe you don't understand the meaning of necessity. Necessity means something that you cannot do without. That's necessity. You cannot do without air. If you close your nostrils now and put your heart, it will take only about 20 minutes and you will die. But no sickness was upon you before. The necessity of life has been taken. So Joshua saw his work as a necessity. And then the darkness that will set in will prevent that necessity from being accomplished. Now when you see the work that God sent you to do as a necessity, and it is so with you, now all the aspects of darkness, the old age, the sickness, the troubles of life, the troubles in the family, you will issue command unto them and saying you have to stop, because this thing is not negotiable. Are you hearing me? This thing is not anything that is wanting to stand in the way is darkness, because it is preventing you from accomplishing something. I praise God for anybody that is a real watchman, minister, man or woman, that have drunk on this thing and is in love with this thing and is saying there is a necessity at our hand and there are pieces of darkness all around and those darknesses cannot continue because this necessity must be achieved. And that what percentage? And that what percentage? And he said to me, and I quote in Isaiah 49, 5 and 6, and now saith the Lord that formed me from the womb and formed you from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob to him. Although Israel, Jacob not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in his sight, and he shall be my God shall be my strength. And then he said, is it a light thing that thou should be my servant to restore the tribes of Israel? I will also give you for a life for the Gentile, that thou may be my my means of salvation unto the ends of the earth. Earlier than that, he had said, and I will bring you into this necessity, and I will bring you into this, and I will bring you into it, and that without measure. Without measure means 100%. Meanwhile, we have just put our hands on it. And then there is the darkness that wants to stop it. And so, those darknesses, they must stop. That is how you understand sun stand still as iron, moon. Listen to me. You come from the north, and then there is crisis everywhere in the northern part of Nigeria. If you know this truth, nothing will touch you. Because there is something that you are doing. If the people there even are not to be saved, they remain in their sin. Is that not a church in your hand that you need to prepare and present to the Lord? Will you prepare that church when you are in the grave? Does anybody have understanding? There are some things that are militating. Something that are causing you sorrow, and they are some kind of night, and they prevent you, and they remain there preventing you. Listen to me. Spot those things and tell the Lord, I am involved in this business, and I love it, and I have laid my hand on it, and I want to help do my little assignment among the people. Because look, you can make argument with the Lord. Look, God, you know that there is a division of labor. You can tell the Lord that there is division of labor, and my own is this small one, and this small one that I'm doing is necessary for this necessity of a project to be accomplished. And look at that. Look at the darkness that is preventing me from doing it very well. So this darkness must not set in. It must not be there. Joshua was accomplishing a task, and he needed to defeat these people so that Israel can be at peace. And then, but what you arranged, your project, even what you scientifically arranged, even the revolution of the sun, of the earth around the sun, he stopped it. And now, if he was able to stop what you arranged, that was for the good of mankind, now what devil arranged should much more stop. This is what I am telling you. I told you people that God is looking for prosecutors, and this is the prosecutor's argument. And as you go on with that and the thing fills your heart, that situation must change. I am telling you, today, am I dying? How many hours did I spend yesterday? What kind of prayer did I pray? I prayed the prayer of a dying man. I prayed the prayer of somebody whose heart is going to faint. But he has been hypertensive since 1995. And they told him at Abuja Hospital that your heart has enlarged. And I saw it. Times came when I would not be able to cross a gutter in this place. But I will walk like a dying man tomorrow. I come here and lay down and say, but there is a necessity. But there is something that I didn't give it to myself. And I have not shied away from it as to say that, okay, I am done with you. Because you shied away from it. You cannot appoint somebody to do a work, and the person is diligently doing the work, and you go down and stop the person. For what reason? I will bring every manner of argument. I said that our people said that you don't send a child on an errand and then draw the rain. JB, you gave them the wisdom. I will make all this argument. They are ancient wisdom, but you gave them the wisdom. And therefore, I am into this business. I have not shied away with it. I have not committed sin. And why must I be like other people suffering hypertension and then their cardiac arrest? It will not happen. Is it true now? Is it true now? Let all those things that are stopping you, all those things that are making you sorrowful, and you want to rise up to pray, you want to join them in the prayer squad, you want to be a prosecutor, you want to be an evangelist fully, but something is saying something. Your wife is in trouble every now and again. The trouble of your wife is drawing you back. I want to say that is darkness. And that darkness must not be allowed to set in. This is the mindset of people that want to conquer. You cannot remain ignorant and fight the devil and defeat him. It's not possible. Now, does anybody know that we are into a necessity? Something that must be accomplished is like air. the church must be arranged. God said so, and it is necessary. Abi, it is necessary. A woman that is going to wed, is the woman arranged? Do other women come to arrange the woman? No, yes, now. I mean, a young lady is about to go and wed, and the day of wedding has come. Is it not other people that come to put the dress and to tell you to stand in the mirror? And then they say the scarf is not good. And they come and then to amend it. And they do this. And they look at the shoe. And they dress it. And put the powder. Is it not what happens? Until this woman now comes. And then he presented and led to come to the altar. Is it not what happened? That is what God has given the watchman to do. To present the church. And it's a necessity. And if you take your hand and put in any aspect of the work, that is the reason I'm talking to people. I say, you ought not to be sitting on the fence. If you are a student here, listen to me. It can make you a great woman in this ministry. It does not take your education. If you are just joining, listen to me. Do you know that you just came in here and you're hearing what I'm saying? You are not born again, but you are saying, wow, this kind of thing is good argument. I want to join the thing that will make me drive, make the sun to stand still. As you are saying that, God will enlist you, give you salvation, because he works according to your mind. He works according to your intention. Listen to me. All the while that I was a child, listen to me. It is now that I discover why God kept me and why he was pursuing me and trailing me. It is now that I discover. Because if people did anything that was wrong, I will quake. Are you hearing me? Not that I was a saint, but the things that I was doing, I didn't consider them very bad. If you rack me, I rack you. If you hit me, I use my head to hit you. For me, what is bad in that? You do me, I do you. If we go to school, if you want fight, we fight. Fight for 1 hour. Did you hear what I said? I told you that I have a young man there. We went to school together, read the BC together, and we fought for 1.5 hours. And all the people were there, some for him, some for me. And those that were with me, for me, the people that were with him, and we rack until he became tired. But now it's my bosom friend. Comes here from time to time. So I didn't consider those things anything. But if anybody, I heard that somebody committed abortion, Jesus. I will say, what? Kill somebody? If I see somebody that did something, go to prepare juju for somebody, go to do some things, that was the way I would feel. If I remain in the midst of young people, and I was growing to a man, to an adult, and then the young man will be talking immorality, I will just keep my mouth shut. I will not say anything. Because I said, if you say those things, you will pollute what I'll be saying in my mind. You will pollute the minds of the people that had you. And you will make them to go and commit sin. Then I will say, no, I will not talk. So that somebody will not hear me and go and commit sin. My argument was then this way, that if I made somebody to commit sin, now I am going to pay for his sin and pay for my own. It is better for me to pay for my own, confess my sin, and so that God will forgive me. How do I go to confess the sin of another person? So I will keep my mouth shut. I didn't know that God was seeing those elements of righteous threat. Why did I bring that? You are here. You are not even born again. Woman, man. But you said, "Hey, look at this man. Was in the program of God. Was executing something that was dear to God. And then he said, God, this is a necessity. I must execute it 100%. And so son must stop. So that I will be there. Child, I want to be like that man. I want to be involved so that all the darknesses that are around me that I have not been able to take care of, all the lack. Do you know that poverty is darkness? If it continues to crunch you, if it continues to hammer you, will you be able to do anything? When you are famished with nothing, when you are tired, you will desire to die. Like Elijah, desire to die. I am not better than my forefathers. The journey is too much. I am thirsty. So, poverty is a kind of darkness. And you say, no, I have learned something today. Let me give my life to Christ, so that he can enlist me, so that I will be in his program, I will be in his church, and then I will be able to have the authority to command all this darkness, all the sickness that is ravaging me, the sickness that is ravaging my parents, that make me unhappy. But I can now see a means. I have seen an argument. I have seen a club that I will enter. And as I enter that club, I have the authority to stop the sickness. As you are thinking that, now here today, God gives you salvation. That's how he behaves. He looks into the hearts of all the people. Now, you have had it. You have had it now. You have had it. Sun, stand still. Moon, stand still at Ireland. Because there is a necessity that I am executing. And God knows that it's a necessity. And God hearkened to a man and then made his arrangement, his own arrangement that was for the interest of men and women. The night is necessary for you to sleep, for the animals to come out. Go and read Psalm 103. That is how he arranged it. When you go to sleep, the rabbits will come out. Are you hearing me? And all the other animals will come out to feed. And when you come out, they go to their hiding places. But this man said, now, reverse the matter for a while, for a whole day, so that I can finish the assignment. And God listened. Now, the devil is there. And he has brought a lot of aspects of darkness and heaped it around you. And said, I will use these things to hold you. That's what he has said. And my friend, I will use these things to hold you down. You cannot have chance. I will use it to tie you. Let me tell you something. Do you know why the Nigerian people that ruled, the military people that ruled, they couldn't do anything? And the people that, why they couldn't do, Abacha couldn't do anything because he was fighting with opposition. And you cannot be fighting with opposition and think about Nigeria. You'll be thinking of how you kill your opposition. You will not think about the masses. Did you hear what I said? Yes, sir. If you are ruling a town and then a section of the town say, you are not going to rule. And every day they are bringing this problem and they are wanting to send the killers to you. You will all the time be on the defense and watching out for where they are coming from. You can never think of the welfare of the town. That's what happened to Nigeria. Rulers come in because they are not required. Opposition sets in and they are struggling and they are keeping to their position, fighting the opposition, and the masses are suffering. Now the devil comes around and brings your wife to something, and now makes your wife to run away, makes your husband to run away, and then so that by that he ties you like a man that has been tied and put on the stake, ready to receive the bullet. And now he's laughing. I will use these things to keep you. Now these things are the darknesses. These things are the things that if he were Joshua, he will issue the instruction with anger and with determination. I said I have a necessity. Now it is time for the darkness to stop. Now light that must be in. Now if you have understood the message, you can rise up now to pray. If you have understood it and recorded it in your mind, you can rise up to take advantage of it and to continue to take advantage of it day in, day out. You need to train your children into being children of God. You need to prepare the church for the rapture. And the opposers, they are all darkness. All the things that want to hinder the ministry, they are darkness. And you don't have mercy upon them. There is a necessity. The work we are doing is not negotiable. You can tell the Lord, I get the message. I have the message. I got the weapon. I have the message. I understand. I'm not a small boy. I'm not stupid. I understand what you have said. I get a principle. And day in, day out, you are making use of it until you have stopped at the sun. You are planning to take the gospel to your village. You are planning to take light to your village. You are planning to take light to your village. But some circumstances schemed by the devil. They want to stop you. They are darkness. They want to tie you down so that you don't take the gospel to your village. You are planning to use your money to take the gospel all around. To take the gospel all around. To support the gospel. But some devils went and arranged everything to tie that business down so that it will remain there, thinking about it, doing nothing. There is a necessity. You want to attend to your children. The illness is preventing you. That illness is darkness. Issue the instruction. That devil that is disturbing you, issue the instruction. Tell him that there is a necessity. It is not negotiable. Tell that devil that is disturbing you that there is a necessity at your hand. It is not negotiable. Tell those enemies, tell those witches and wizards. See it that way. Begin to rejoice. You will not be able to kill me. You will not be able to take life out of me. You will not be able to take life out of me. Death is far away. Death is far away. Death is far away for such people. Death by accident, death by sickness, death by stroke is far away. It is far away. There is a necessity. There is an assignment. It's not negotiable. This is real. This is true. This is the word of God. You need to have understanding. And you have the understanding and you have the argument. The marriage matters. You have not been married. And you are above the age. And then it's worrying you. And you're telling the Lord, this thing that is tying me down, this thing that is tying me down, that will not want me to execute my portion of this necessity. You have a portion. You have a portion of this necessity. It's a necessity. It's a necessity. Joshua had a necessity. If any person, those of you that have been sent threat messages, the people that send you threat messages are darkness. And that darkness must stop. They shall die. The people that send you threat messages, text messages, that they will kill you. How can they kill you? You have a necessity in this school. A school is a necessity. A necessity in Nigeria. All you students, all you people that's trading, if you consider the things that I've said, and you said, okay, I want to get to be a friend of Jesus, so that I can have an aspect of what to do for him. And then I will have entered into a necessity that the Lord has approved. Now you are saying to the Lord, now Lord save me. Lord, I give my life to you. And then I now have the authority to command the darkness to hold on. I now have the authority to command the darkness to hold on from coming, because of what I'm involved in. Make sure you plunge into the necessity. Make sure you plunge into something that is a necessity in the sight of God. Training your children in the way of the Lord, nurturing them in the admonition of the Lord is a necessity. Attending to your husband who has ministry is a necessity. Do you know that giving your children education is a necessity? And then some things are standing in your way so that you will not have the money to be able to do that. I believe that you have gotten the message. The thing has built in your heart. And that is what you go with. I'm into a necessity. You have the mind to build a house for the Lord in your village. You have the mind to dole out plenty of money and take an arm of the development to build at ICC land. And that is coming up in your mind. But the resources are being hindered. My friend, what you want to do is a necessity. And therefore the darkness must stop. The things that the devils have engineered must stop. If the thing that God engineered had to stop in order for a necessity to be accomplished, then the things the devils have engineered must much more stop. That's the argument. And that is the truth. The devil cannot resist the argument. It's not possible. Praise be to God. They know the truth and they have had it. And their time has elapsed. Round up your prayers and thank God and said, I've gotten it. I've gotten the thing I came for. I came for another thing, but I've gotten something. I know now to prosecute the devil and prosecute all his evil works. I now know how to prosecute. I've gotten it. Thank you, Lord. Now round up your prayers because it's sufficient. The knowledge has been given. The knowledge has been given. And is so. And will ever remain so. Listen to me. Pay attention. Pay attention. Students, do you know that if you say, Lord, I want to graduate from here with great grades, and as I graduate from here, I want to go to university and read something and prepare myself for service in this very necessity. Now, everything that is wanting me, that is wanting to make me not to get that good, those great grades, they are darkness. Do you know that if you say that and stand by it, do you know that God will change your brain as a result of that? Do you realize that training up your children in the way they should go, that it is a necessity that God has commanded? And that anything that is standing in your way not to be able to do it is darkness. Do you know that being able to provide for your family as commanded by God is a necessity? Is it a necessity? A necessity ordered by God. For the person that cannot provide for his family is worse than an infidel. You have a necessity not compromisable by God. And the devils are reigned and they know it and they don't want that necessity to be executed. But you know how to prosecute them. And you are now saying, okay, even the things that God arranged for the benefit of mankind and benefit of the animals, that God allowed a man to stop it and agreed with him. Now, how much more will he agree